Hello, this is Hooked by Happenstance. I'm Kendra, and it's Tuesday. So it is the logical time for my Sunday sunrise. For those of you that are unfamiliar, my Sunday sunrise is my solution to New Year's resolutions. Rather than make a bunch of goals in January that I was unlikely to follow through with, I make weekly goals that I am frequently unlikely to follow through with. So I usually put like a bit of advice for you at the end of the video to kind of give value to people who are not me, because considering these lists are individual to my personal crafting, perhaps they are not always relevant to other people. But I'm going to put my my advice up front. So I was sitting there working on a project moments ago and just feeling really crappy that I had not made this video yet. Part of the reason I had not made this video was because, well, we will talk about it when we talk about my list. But I just haven't really been making a lot of videos here, and that sucks. Like, there's just not really anything else to say about it. I have been making videos that are patron exclusive most days to go along with my Jolly Joy and other junk, but I have not been vlogging, I have not been doing content here, you know. And I could have just kept sitting there and working on, I mean, I was doing something productive, so at least I couldn't feel too bad about that. But like, I could just continue to sit there and not make this video. But you know what that was going to do? That was going to not make this video happen. So my advice to you is to just do the thing. Like, if there's something you put off and you feel bad or you feel behind or you know you're not going to get it done at this point, start it, because then at least you have made an effort and you're stopping that terrible snowball from just continuing to roll down the hill. So here I am to discuss last week's list, which is what we do. I'll talk about last week's goals and how I did on them, and then have a new list. So here was my list from last week. The first thing on it was that my bag club needed to go out. That has happened, so it should be arriving in mailboxes soon, if not already. Then I wanted to stay on top of the Jolly Joy and other junk. In case you did not know, over on my Patreon, Hooked by Happenstance on Patreon, if you are a patron at the $2 or higher level, you have access to a daily row of a pattern for a shawlette that I'm making. It started on the 26th of November, so that it will be done at the beginning of the week of my birthday, or December 25th, or Christmas, or however you want to look at it. So it will be done in time that you could gift this project to another person, or take the kind of festive item and be able to wear it during Christmas week, if you'd like. So that has been going on. Today I posted row 16. Tomorrow, by the time you see this video, row 17 will be coming out. If you'd like to sign up at this point and jump on board, you totally have time to do that. Especially if you choose a less beaded option, you could definitely catch up. The more beads you pick, the more time it takes. That's kind of how that works. And that's just because beading is tedious, right? Alright, so I've been basically staying on top of that. I've been staying on top of my personal version of it. I wanted to make a second one. I picked it out and I let Peachlet pick. I have not really started that one. I've only done a few of the rows because me and the yarn are having a bit of a tiff. So I'm still deciding if I'm even going to finish that project. I kind of want to, but I kind of think the yarn wants to be something else. So we'll see. The third thing on my list was to make a bingo board for December. That has not happened yet, but I have an idea that I was thinking about while having the thoughts about making this video. So about the time this video shows up, maybe there'll be a video about that. Maybe there won't. I don't know. I'm not going to make any promises about that. The fourth thing on my list was to film a podcast. Nope, didn't. Just calling it a wash. Not going to film a podcast this week. And the last thing on my list for last week was to finish a doll that I had made the head for. I'm timing myself to see how long the dolls take. But that's just not going to happen this week because, as of yet, I've not felt this great inclination to sit down and make a toy. If I feel the toy in my heart, if that's what's going to bring me joy, you know, because they rhyme, toy and joy, when I feel that connection, the doll will happen. But it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so here's my list for this week. I like to implement a tiny paper, big marker strategy. which is the way I try to not overcommit. It means there's less space and things look bigger, so they seem slightly more important. So, the first thing on my list, again, is Jolly Joy and other junk. I want to stay on top of it because I've made that commitment, so I'm going to keep doing that. For the next three things, they say present number 1, present number 2, and present number 3, and then they are noted by a color which corresponds to the presents. Since they are presents, I will not be discussing what they are or who they are for, but there is a red one, which I was currently sitting down working on in the other room. There's a purple one, which has not been started yet. And there's one that I'm calling green, which is actually a mix of colors, which I'm like, about halfway through, but then I kind of think I'm going to pull some of it out, so I'm going to be less than half and have to go back, but anyway, I spent a bunch of my time today working on present number 3. So I want to continue to put effort into those 3 presents, as well as the stockings I am making for our family. I'm making giant stockings using like a standard sock recipe. I'm using worsted weight yarn. I'm using some Lion Brand woolies. But I'm making them like in normal proportions. Most people, they make stockings that have like a long leg, like a tiny foot. But when we do put things in the stockings, Steve and I like to like shove them all the way in because then they don't pop out the top and the kids can't see what it is. So I'm making like a full on, like a full foot. Like they're big. I don't have them close at hand, so I can't show you. But they're pretty large. And they're going to have a proportional leg, so they look more like real socks. So I'm working on the kids, and I'm doing them all simultaneously, all 3 of them, because I'm using some scrap yarn, and so to make sure the striping all works out, I have the toes and the feet and the heels all the way up the turn on 2 of them, and the third one, I'm midway through the heel turn, so I'm about ready. When I finish that last heel, then I can start legs, and then we'll see where we go from there. I do have yarn to make ones for Steve and I. I don't know that those are going to become a priority before Christmas, but I did tell the kids that I would have their stockings done in time for Christmas, and this year I'm making those in lieu of making anybody booties, or foot stockings, as we sometimes refer to them. So, that is kind of where those are at. So as far as the presents and the stockings, at least one of those projects needs to be completely done. And one needs to have massive progress done before next Sunday. Preferably, I'll have 2 of them done. I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of where my commitment level is. And I have no clue what videos I think I'm going to make. And I think I'm just going to be okay with that. Because that feels like a good choice for me. I also have not been posting on Instagram that much. Probably going to continue to do that. I don't mean to sound really negative. I probably do. I'm trying to balance things out. I was watching a video today, and the person was talking about the idea of budgeting for the holidays and how it's not just about money, but you also have time and you have energy. And like finding that balance in all of them, like you shouldn't overdraw any of those accounts. And some of those accounts just have nothing in them. And usually when I say that, it's just purely referring to the money category. But no, some of the other ones, there's just not enough time some days, sometimes there's just not enough energy. So it's really a budgeting act. And hopefully making a not too large a list will help with that. And I try to put things on there that need to get done, but also have kind of been where my mental energy has been going. The thing that is difficult is that some of those projects I can't work on when the kids are around. But they all know about the stockings, and I've been making them in front of them. So that is a good, during the day when they're around project. Anyways, this has been kind of a scattery Sunday sunrise. That's just the kind of week I'm having. Perhaps you're having a similar week. Perhaps now would be a good time for you to take a moment and sit down, organize your thoughts, get back on board, even if you've been off the train of productivity, and commit to getting some things done. Doesn't have to be everything. Some things. And if you just start, that's a thing. We can just check that off our list. Started contemplating starting. Check. So, with that in mind, I will see you when I see you. There's a link next to me to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Perhaps you want to, so that more of these videos will just pop up into your feed when I get them up on the interwebs, which who knows when that will be. Anyways, check out the Patreon if you're interested in Jolly Joy and other junk, because that has been there every day. And I will see you all next time. Bye!